everyone, thank you so much again for being here. Appreciate it. I am going to talk a little bit about and share some thoughts on leveraging relationships and resources. Boy, we have leveraged our relationships and resources just to be able to join you here today for Lemonade. Gosh, it was 2020 when I got a call from Debbie, and she said, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I said, "Nothing." I'm doing that. She goes, "Well, neither am I. I'm going crazy because I can't get on an airplane and I can't go talk to people and I can't be in their firms and I can't seem to, we can't help them and I can't." I was going through the same thing. As you know, I hope you know, that relationships and people and resources for me, that's my lifeblood, and it's our lifeblood as we build businesses. So, Debbie called and said, "Hey, we need to do something. Let's do a day of sunshine." And anybody knows Debbie, she's just got that something, right? And she's always, she said, "Well, let's do a day of sunshine. We need to do something to really help people and get something going. We're doing virtually. We're trying to figure it out." So the working title for Lemonade was the Day of Sunshine, until I walked out. We were still struggling. Hey, what should we do with we called all of our friends and, Michael Cohen, and called just a whole bunch of our friends and said, "Hey, we want to put together this, really fun day of education and inspiration and entertainment." And so we still didn't have that title, though. We didn't seem to have that one thing. So I walked out. I said, I need to talk to my daughter. She's the most creative person that I know. So I was in Arizona at our house, and I walked out in the backyard, and she was back there with her little girl, and she had her feet in this little pool. And I walked out and I said, "Brooke," I said, "I need your help." And she turned and looked at me, and then I kind of looked at him and I said, "Wow, the only thing that you're missing there is a glass of lemonade." And I went, "Thank you," and went back inside, called Debbie on the phone, and I said, "How about lemonade?" And I said, "We've just been given a huge basket of lemons. Everyone has. So let's make some lemonade." Then Debbie said, "How about lemonade for legal?" So that's how, gosh, that's going back. That's going back in the day. Butterscotch candy. Yeah. Everyone was joking last night because I was giving out butterscotch candies. Because apparently that's like an old thing. Anyway, I wanted to give you a little taste of of how we started this whole thing, and we have really that's a prime example, we believe, of leveraging relationships and resources. So look, opening the treasure chest of problem solving really just requires, for me, it requires connection and strategy and resource awareness. If you use your resources and relationships, and it just makes things better. If you have an issue, you have problems, and we all do, right? We're all facing them. I'm sure that some of you are sitting at your desks working on some right now. So let's just kind of get to it. Rich, this is not working. Live television.
You're good.
Okay, so let's talk about this treasure chest metaphor. So we have a problem, which is the locked treasure chest, right? We have relationships which we believe those are the keys. Resources, the tools inside of that treasure chest are really the tools inside are our resources. Strategy, choosing the right key. So every challenge contains opportunity. Access depends on relationships and the use of intelligent resources. So I think that it always comes to mind. I remember that back when GLJ started to engage with the Association of Legal Administrators, and we were coming up with, hey, here's GLJ benefit consultants, and okay, so what is it that we do in a really kind of in a micro statement? So our tagline, we had a lot of conversation about it. We thought about essential law firm solutions. And then it got down to essential law firm solutions or essential law firm resources. We believed that the solutions were certainly the programs and all of the offerings that we were able to bring, and that we were able to bring and offer to all of the law firms. However, every one of those solutions is not essential to every law firm. So we landed on resources. And we believe that what we've tried to do over the last 20 years is become a resource. So we believe that utilizing and reaching out and being a resource first becomes such a help, and it's really been good for us. So I want to talk about problem solving and why problem solving fails. Okay. Now, I think that we're all going to relate to this. I went through this last night again. And isolation from problem solving, when you get into a situation, and you're trying to solve a problem, and something comes up. And now, do we all do this? So that isolation of, let me tell you, let me see if this statement means something to you. Well, if I don't do it myself, it won't get done. You know what? And if I don't do it, I should probably just do this myself, because no one else will know how to do this but me. And we isolate ourselves. All of a sudden, we're in isolation, and the problem festers. We're not making any progress with the problem. Okay, we're not making any progress with the issue. Well, let's start looking internally. When we isolate ourselves and put ourselves away and think, well, I'm the only one that can do this, we become unapproachable. So underused networks. We have a network right here. So the Lemonade for Legal network. Gosh, there's associations. There's the Association of Legal Administrators. There's Legal Tech. There's just all kinds of associations that can help with problem solving. But a lot of times we underuse our networks. Chapters. Chapter members. There's one thing I know about. One thing I know about this particular Association of Legal Administrators. Boy, you want a resource? You just pick up the phone and call one of your chapter members, and they will help. They will help. Ignored resources. So this is a little bit different, but there's those resources that are out there, like AI, that we go, you know what? I don't really want to get into that yet. I'm not. I just, I'm just going to ignore that it's there. I'm going to do it like I've always done it. I just, I just don't know if I can. I don't know if I can use that. Or here's a resource over here that you're ignoring just because, maybe it's an individual. that person on my team, they're not going to be able to help with this. There's no way they're not going to be able to help with this. Failure often stems from working alone or overlooking available support systems. Now, here's the big one, and that's why I put it in the, that's why I bolded it here. Fear of asking for help. Who's done that? And why is fear, and it is a fear, why do we fear asking for help? Is it because, a lot of times, and I've had this, well, you know what? I should know how to do this. I should know in the position that I am, that they hired me for, or the position that I hold and what I'm doing, I should know how to do this. So I'm not going to ask anybody, because I don't want to ask anybody. It becomes a fear, and fear holds us back so many times. Imagine how much we could accomplish if we just weren't afraid to do it, and if we just weren't afraid to ask for help. Okay, so here's the relationship advantage. What do relationships provide? Okay, a broader perspective. Every single time when you have an issue, and you need a different perspective. Sometimes you get so close to that issue, sometimes you get so close to that problem that you're trying to solve, you cannot see it. You cannot see, how am I going to solve this? So give yourself another perspective. Take a step back. Ask for help. Don't be afraid to do it. It broadens your perspective. The more perspective you can get in, the more eyes on it, the better. I'll give you an example of it. Just give you an example of it for setting up yesterday here for Lemonade 5. So we ran into, Rich, a dozen issues probably. We had to make sure that we had all of the tech set up right, and we got rolling, and all of a sudden the audio just wasn't quite working right. We couldn't hear it. And Rich was right on top of it. And he was okay, I don't know why this isn't working. I don't know why this isn't working. Okay, this is not working. And I was like, well, did you try this? Yeah, try. I mean, we had that going back and forth. So what we thought of was, sometimes it's so funny. Sometimes you just we ought to know how to do this. We've done it so many times, but this is the first one on the road, and we still should know how to do this tech. And it was working. It was working with the tech before we did it on. We went on Saturday. Working fine. It's not working now. What is the problem? So we went to David here, the tech guy here here at the firm, and he came in and he was awesome. He was looking at everything. And we were just standing around looking at things, and he said, well, hey, he goes, what about maybe some, a couple of these channels? Maybe if we push one of these, the channel in and out. And Rich goes, oh, yeah. Oh, we did that, and it didn't quite work. But then Rich goes, oh, and he reaches over and he pushes this button for the channel to open up the audio. Boom, it worked. We thought it was the cord. We thought it was all of these different things. But we got a different perspective than what we were thinking. And it helped us. It unlocked the treasure chest of problem solving right in front of our eyes. And it was so cool. So shout out to David. Thank you so much for doing that. Or people wouldn't be able to do this. We probably maybe we would have figured it out. But Another really great one is shared experience. So if you have within your networks, which we know that we do, and look, just look around you right now, you have shared experience. I will tell you that the people who are attending Lemonade today, all of anyone that you can look at on the screen, or anybody that you look at in the chat, anyone that you can see here has shared experience. Believe me, if you're working in a law firm and you're working in as a CFO or a COO or a chief administrator, you're working in marketing, you have a shared experience. So when you run into issues, it's important that you reach out and bring people in that have that shared experience. Also, what's fun is when you ask for help, you get it becomes kind of a constructive challenge, right? So you bring somebody in, you explain what the issue is, they help you with their shared experience, they're giving you a broader perspective. So it becomes fun to actually solve the issue or solve the problem that's in front of you. And I'll tell you what's great. Long-term victory celebrations. So once you finish and you solve that problem, guess what? It gives you memories. It gives you memories, and you have a make sure that you celebrate and have a victory celebration when you solve big issues. But you know what? Even when you solve small issues, those memories will come back to you to your advantage, that relationship advantage. I'm going to give you another just quick story. This year, when we decided we were going to do Lemonade 5, we found out that Tennessee's all-state retreat was at the same time, and we knew that we had kind of talked about maybe doing it here in Nashville. So we called the Tennessee chapter, and we talked to the committee, and we said, hey, so we've kind of picked this date, but what do you think about doing it together? And they jumped at it, said, yeah, let's do it. It would be so much fun. Where do you guys want to do it? And there was some talk about maybe doing it. There was a couple of different venues, or there was this, and then I had this memory that Teresa Walker, here at this firm, the great Teresa Walker, had this firm and worked at this firm, and years ago, I'm telling you, it was 10 years ago, I was in this building, and she showed me this room. She showed me this courtroom. And I said, hey, maybe Teresa will help us to do that. Maybe that would be available. And reached out to Teresa. Through a great relationship that we've had and held for so long. And she said, absolutely. Well, let me see if it's available. It is available. And so we were able to solve that problem because of a relationship, and because that was a resource, because I had a memory, and because we had a memory. So as you begin your problem-solving journey on any problem, inventory what's going on before you take action. Human expertise is important. Institutional knowledge, data and information, technology and tools, time and budget. There they are. Those are the keys that unlock problem solving. But make sure that you take an inventory before you get rolling, so you don't get about, oh well, gosh, now I don't really know what to do. So take an inventory before you get rolling. Technology, digital tools as amplifiers. This is huge. Technology multiplies your impact. So collaboration platforms. I know that there's so many that are out there. Where you can collaborate. There's so many listservs. I know that, and if you don't have it, or you're not part of a listserv, make part of a listserv. Find your people. Technology enhances human capability. It doesn't replace it. Tools increase speed, scale, and access. Now, knowledge databases. Huge, right? So you know that somebody knows something. I know that you know somebody that knows something about this issue. Keep a database. Keep a database. Remember who you've used as resources and who you can reach out to. Now, I put this in big letters here. AI assistance. Not AI for purpose of solving the problem, because you want to solve the issue and you want to learn, and you want to be able to increase increase your knowledge. AI assistance. It's okay to ask for help, but not necessarily have AI solve your issue, but sometimes it will. However, if you're just dabbing your toe into AI, use AI assistance. There is so much you can reach out to and grab knowledge very quickly when you need it. So do not be afraid. Do not fear that. Professional networks, we all know what that is because we're part of many. But make sure that you're working your professional networks. So building social capital before you need it. This is part of the challenge that I want to emphasize this. Be a resource before you ask for resources. Invest early. So be aware of what's going on and what your colleagues are doing, and maybe what people are doing up the street or what other law firms are doing, and then offer your own help. Offer help. Hey, you guys need any help with that? Is that something that I could help you with? If you become a resource, and you have invested in that, and also invested in social capital, go and make sure that you're doing something socially with the people that you're working with. Don't ask for help only in crisis. I put it in there, but offer value first. That's what we're talking about. So offer some value. Maintain communication, build trust consistently. But the biggest caution that I would give you is using relationships in crisis only. A crisis comes up, and now all of a sudden you got to use your relationships, and you use them, and people are happy to help. Just like you, hey, I'm happy to help. But then next week, I got a crisis, man. I need to call him again. And you're only asking in times of crisis. So just be a little caution there. Here's the formula of opening the treasure chest. The have no fear. Have no fear. The goal isn't solving one problem. It's building a system that consistently solves problems. Alignment creates momentum. The real treasure chest here is a repeatable system of success. I have to tell you that over my career, I've been blessed. I can reach out to all the people that are on this call because I know you. But I've made that investment. We've made that investment in knowing what you do and what your expertise are. I can pick up the phone and I can call Debbie all the time, and she goes, "Yeah, you do," and you do. But I can pick up the phone and I can call Debbie, and I can depend on her to give me to give me an answer. I can call Maria Mason and say, "Hey, have you ever faced this before?" "Yeah, I have." Or, "No, I haven't, but this person has." But this person has. People do business with people. Utilize your resources. Resources will open treasure chest to absolute gold. So here's some book tips. Never Eat Alone by Keith Rossi. Super cool book. The Wisdom of Crowds by James Surowiecki. Super cool. These books for resources and building networks Really, really cool. We'll obviously send you these. Oh, and here's a cool tip. Me and a guy named Elvis by Jerry Schilling. Jerry Schilling was Elvis's best friend. It's not a business book, but holy cow, what a great book. So, Debbie will give you all the business books, but I'm going to give you the Elvis book. I want to tell you a story. I want to tell you a story about this guy. This is my dad. This is my dad in Korea, and my dad was a supply sergeant, and he was in charge of moving the battalion. This happens to be my favorite photo of my dad. He's cooking a little soup there on his Jeep. It's cold in Korea. He's trying to warm himself. He's got some other things there on his Jeep. So young. But everyone came to him because he was a supply guy. He knew he knew how to get anything. He knew how to. They knew that Spike Wilson, named Richard Wilson, just like my son. But Richard Wilson, Spike, he knew how to get things done, and he knew where to get the resources to make it happen. So every time I went to my dad, when I was growing up, when I started my businesses, when I started to do those things, I talked to him. I know that many of you have that person or someone in your life that you can go to and you can ask, hey, what do you think I should do with this? And he used to say this to me, Alan, use your resources. I'm happy to help you, but use your resources. Remember always to use your resources. And this guy, he got out of the war. Growing up, I will always remember that he was involved with something, whether it was a paper drive or whether it was, we had people coming over to the house that, hey, who was that guy? Oh yeah, well that guy, he needs some help with this, so he goes, I've got this friend over here that's a plumber and he's going to help him out. I remember answering the phone, hey, is your dad there? Yeah, he's here, and he talked, yeah, well, you want to call George, yeah, you want to call George, he does that. Yeah, oh, okay, well, we'll see you. Yeah, call George, here's his phone number. Man, our phone was ringing off the hook all the time. He talked to everybody. Go to the grocery store, it was like going to the grocery store with him, going to the grocery store with, Elvis or someone. Yeah. Hey, Spike, how you doing? Thanks for the help on that. Yeah, no problem. I remember that mostly about my dad, because he always helped people, but he was a resource first. So when we had a terrible rainstorm in Los Angeles, out in Southern California, where we in the 70s, and it was raining just terribly, and our roof started to leak. George showed up. George McAnewey, that was that man's name, and he was a roofer. But he had heard that our roof was leaking. So here comes George rolling up, and my dad didn't even call him. He just showed up. He said, hey, Spike, you helped me last week with this thing. I'm gonna take care of your roof. Never forget that. That's something maybe that we ignore, or something that we've lost. But you know what? It's something that we can gain. So, because this was my favorite photo, I want my dad, with a little help from AI, I want my dad to say what he has to say to you. This is what he would say, and AI is going to bring him to life so he can say, hello everyone, use your resources. Here he goes. Thanks, Dad. We'll use our resources.